Let's continue with the fourth chapter from your political science book of grade 11, and the name of the chapter is Political Ideologies. In this chapter, we are going to know about liberalism, socialism, communism, and fascism. So, in the previous video, we came across what is the meaning of liberalism, what are its features, characteristics, and in this video, we are going to know about its criticism. So, critics of liberalism raised few points we are going to discuss. First is liberalism. Liberalism lacks clarity. Okay, liberalism is not a clearly defined concept. It is unclear. Several different kinds of opinions and ideas of various scholars stand incorporated into it. That means it is changing from time to time. Okay, no definite, no certain, not a fixed definition we could find at the very beginning. They are trying to say this. Okay, next is undue faith in the rationality of individualism. So, liberalism puts unduly big faith in individuals' intellect and rationality. A common man usually lacks the intellect to understand each and every problem of life and to fulfill solutions. So, it is not possible for every person to understand how to get out of the problems and what is best for them. So, as liberalism is believing that everybody can understand what is best for him or her, which is a wrong concept. Okay, individual is seldom the best judge of his interest. It is wrong on the part of liberalism to claim that every individual understands his interest fully well and functions accordingly. There are very few people in the society who are educated, knowledgeable, and able to understand everything fully. Nobody is in the society who can understand every sphere, right? So, for our immediate interest, we can understand what is good for us. That is our immediate interest. But for our future, we cannot understand. So, liberalism lacks in this point also. Individual is not a separate, isolated entity. The liberalist view that an individual is a unit separate from the society. It is not true. Okay, an individual has little entity and identity outside the society. So, when we are within the society, we are having our identity, and outside the society, we don't have our identity. Okay, we are having very little identity. Number 5, the state is not an artificial institution. Okay, the state, we already came across this chapter, right? The state is a natural institution which has evolved over a long period of time, and several factors have contributed to this growth, right? It is not an artificially developed institution. So, the sixth point, conception of natural rights is wrong. It is wrong to say that certain rights which man had in prehistoric state of nature must be considered invaluable. So whatever right at that time we were having, we cannot say right now also we need to have those rights. In the larger interest of the society, the state can impose some restrictions on the right? So number 7 is wrong conception of liberal liberty by the traditional uh, liberalist. Open competition is harmful for weaker sections in the society. This means they are talking about the economical sphere. Okay, that economic sphere is when becoming open, then we will find that the rich people are trying to exploit the poor people. Okay, criticism by the socialist and communist, as because when there is an open market, the rich people are dominating, so the socialist and communist are saying that the poor are getting exploited and they will get more exploited because the capitalists will try to earn more and more profit. For this surplus profit, the poor people will get more exploited. For that, they are criticizing this liberal concept. Liberalism is a philosophy of middle class. Okay, why they are saying this? Because they feel that it emphasizes on maintaining stability and balance within the existing order. So, however, these are the few criticisms we came across, and we can say that from these criticisms we can understand that though we are having the criticisms, then also these criticisms now stand rejected, okay, in this age of liberalism. In fact, most of the points of criticism of liberalism stands directly against the classical liberalism and not against the contemporary liberalism. Okay, so the transformation of narrow and negative liberalism of the 19th century into a broad and positive liberalism of 21st century committed to the ideas of both individual development and social welfare has enabled liberalism to get recognized as the most respected ideology in our age. Next is liberalism, purpose and functions of state. In the 18th and 19th century, the individualist thinkers advocated that state should perform only protection function. Okay, the state was regarded as a police state which has to provide protection to the life, liberty and property of the people for both internal and external aggressions. This was called laissez-faire state, as it was required to keep away from the freedom of contract, economic competition and economic life of the people. However, we can say in the 20th century, almost all the modern liberal scholars came forward to reject the individualistic view of the functions of the state as a police state or a laissez-faire state. They accepted and advocated the concept of welfare state. Okay, 20th century they incorporated welfare state, or we can say the modern liberalist incorporated welfare state, a state committed to provide protection to the people as well as to promote the welfare and development of its people. Right, so what was a modern view? Modern view of purpose and functions of the state, we can say, while remaining committed to the principles of open competition, free trade, market economy, and Western scholars and political leaders accepted the welfare role of the state. Okay, what is India's point of view in this? Indian constitution upholds the principles of liberalism, socialism and welfare state in its preamble. Okay, we can say in part 3 of the constitution grants equal fundamental rights to all the citizens. Part 4 of the Constitution of India contains a list of directive principles of state policy which give directives to the state for securing social, economical and political justice for all the people as well as for acting as a welfare state. So what are the directive principles? Directive principles of the state policy reflect the fact that India stands for democratic socialism welfare state. Right and freedoms of individual, rule of law, and a state characterized by social, economic, and political justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and all round socio economic development. Thank you.